Salute, salute. What's happening? Nocturnal Thoughts back at it again, man. Look at this. Y'all ain't gonna be able to see it. Might not even be able to find it. Just a little hole right there. You see, put my finger right there by my finger. That little hole right there. A little hole can cause some big problems. You know what I'm saying? A little hole can cause a lot of damage. So, back to the conversation at hand. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. Some people believe that Tyson Fury might just have Deontay Wilder's number. They say it's just sometimes you just got that fighter out there that just has your number. Like Vernon Forrest just had Sugar Shane Mosley's number. You know what I'm saying? Get beat by Mayorga. Mayorga gets beat by Mosley, but Mosley gets beat by Vernon Forrest. You know what I'm saying? Some people say like Roy Jones Jr. got beat by Antonio Tarver. He just had his number. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Antonio Tarver might have beat him in the amateurs, right? Then they had a close fight. It was a controversial decision that Roy Jones won. Had the rematch, and that was the famous "Any more excuses, Roy?" Because Roy had, put on all this muscle, bulked up to like almost 200 pounds, then dropped back down, and his body didn't get acclimated. Comes back after their rematch, boom, he's history. Knocked out, and history is made. Roy Jones Jr. is like never the same ever again after that. They fought again, and Antonio Tarver, still same outcome. And some people think that's going to be the situation with, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. That Tyson Fury just has his number. Deontay Wilder is not a skilled boxer. He relies on the equalizer. You know what I'm saying? The one punch man, the one trick pony, the eraser. And Tyson Fury has more skills in his bag. You know what I'm saying? He's the more elusive. He's the more um, hard to hit, natural. He's better off working off the jab, and the fighting runs deeper in his bloodline, in his family history. So this Tyson Fury just has Deontay Wilder number. Really, this third fight, some people don't even want to see it because they feel like it's just unnecessary. Me personally, there's only a few questions that I have. I don't have a ton of questions. Like I have a few questions going into this trilogy, but they should be answered in the first couple of rounds. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the outcome of how this fight is going to be honest with you. I'll make my prediction a little bit later. But I don't know if Tyson Fury just has Deontay Wilder's number. You base it off the first fight. Um, Tyson Fury was coming back, getting back in shape. He had two tune-up fights, I believe. A lot of people think he completely outboxed Deontay Wilder. I always agreed with the draw. I do recognize that Tyson Fury was able to outbox Deontay Wilder for the majority of the fight, but I also say the two knockdowns went a long way, and also to me, you can find some rounds. You can find a round or two in the rounds without the knocks down that Tyson Fury just didn't completely control and dominate and dictate. Some of it was, posturing. Some of it was playing to the audience, and there was some times where Deontay Wilder was the aggressor. He wasn't effective, but the draw made sense to me, right? The second fight, to me, was more of a pure annihilation. Um, I never bought into the excuses, even if it was 100% excuse, 100% provable excuse. I still said, you know what, if y'all gonna fight again, we don't need to hear the excuses. Even if it was 100% provable, all of this stuff, the glove gate, the water being spiked, the referee being, I'm saying, a snake, Mark Breland, and not if everything that was talked about was even true, I still didn't want to care or hear about it because it was irrelevant. If you're going into a third fight, just go back into the training, go back into the bat cave, do what you need to do. So, based off of that, based off the second fight being a pure, the AC kicking on, based off the second fight being a pure annihilation of Deontay Wilder, that answered the majority of questions. The only question I really had still was there obviously fact. Fact number one was Deontay Wilder got beat by Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury was the better boxer with a better strategy and had the better night and was the better man to win that fight that night. Fact. Fact number two, and the only real unknown factor to me was what was wrong with Deontay Wilder from the get go. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think too many people can deny that Deontay Wilder still was having an off night before the first bell rung. Um, like something you can tell that he was off, and he had an off night. The thing is, Tyson Fury never let him turn back on. Tyson Fury never let him into the fight. But there still was always a question in my mind. Deontay Wilder mentally and physically was not prepared to go into war from the first round. So whether it had been the suit, which always to me was ridiculous but valid. I need to. The suit was ridiculous, but to me it was valid. If it took away your legs or the mask and the lights had an effect on you, I don't know if that was the case. And that's my saying. Only Deontay Wilder really truly knows what went wrong before the fight, why he had the first round where he looked so disoriented, so discombobulated, so dry and no sweat, no, his mind wasn't locked in. He just wasn't. It was same similar to AJ in the first Andy Ruiz fight. We could tell something was off with Anthony Joshua. It was rumors of concussions. It was, rumors of he just wasn't taking Andy Ruiz seriously because he had rather been in the ring with Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. Nevertheless, always the more. Something was wrong with AJ. He made corrections. He totally restructured his fighting style to have a better fight for Andy Ruiz. So what was wrong with Deontay Wilder? We probably will never know. But I expect to see Deontay Wilder at least in a different mental mind state coming into this trilogy. Now, do I expect him to win? Right now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to give a prediction, but I'm not expecting him to win. I'm telling you, when a man can outbox you, minus the knockdowns, and a man can come forward on the front foot and dominate you, then obviously common sense and logic says this man has more abilities to be able to be victorious. But at the same time, you know, if Deontay Wilder had something that was wrong, that wasn't brought to the forefront, where his health was, where his legs or his energy or his whatever had him off that night, if that was something that was corrected, I expect to see him in at least better condition. Not to say that's going to get him a victory, but I expect him to be better than he was in the second fight. If he comes in and he makes a better case for himself in the second fight, that's really, to me, enough. Enough. It's like this: if he comes in and he loses, he lost. Most people think he's going to lose anyway. You know what I'm saying? If he comes in, he has a better night, and he loses by decision, that's boxing. You know what I'm saying? He only has one loss. If he gets outboxed, he loses again, but he doesn't get, beat. pillar the post like he did in the last fight, to me, that's more, you can't hang your head low off of that. And people need to start giving credit where credit is due. And so I feel like sometimes, heavy is the head that wears the crown. I feel like some people just don't give this dude a fair shake at all. I try to call a spade a spade. The excuses and the throwing the Mark Breland under the bus and Kenny Bayless under the bus, all that stuff to me was too far ridiculous. But to me, once it started going way too far, it was gonna go too far. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't reel it back in after a while. But anyways, I don't want to make this video too long. I just want to see the fight and see how it plays out. I only have a few questions, and I think if he does come in and he made a little bit of adjustments and he is more 100% healthy and his mind is locked in, then I would not be surprised if he knocked out Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised if he knocked his head clean off. So it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. I want to see a good fight and let the best man win. And then we can close the book on that. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. So not a lot of unanswered questions, but I have a few unanswered questions and we'll see. You know, I don't like the excuses. Um, I never did. But at the same time, I have a filter. The excuses, you know, I could see when the excuses starting to get crazy. I just tune a lot of that out because that's just aftermath. When dust get kicked up, it's just dust. I'm not gonna sit there and try to pick out every single finite piece of dust. Let the dust settle, you know what I'm saying? And then we'll see what don't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse. You dig? Nocturnal thoughts, man. Appreciate y'all time. This is my last video on this conversation, possibly, unless real talk comes out with something else that motivates me, because that's my guy right there. Like I said, Antonio Tarver, he made that. Matter of fact, he gave me that example. Antonio Tarver had Roy Jones Jr.'s number. Facts. But my only thing is this. Roy Jones Jr. never knocked down Antonio Tarver and almost had him knocked completely out in the 12th round. So, apples and oranges, baby. You dig what I'm saying? Salute to y'all out there, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be blessed. Take it easy. Hey, leave a comment in there below. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. This is Nocturnal Thoughts. I'm gone. Peace. Bow.